This is RT, TI from New York City. This is going to be a video about a specific comment that was written down on a piece of paper the last time that I was hanging out with these three people that I considered brothers of mine, but that turned out to be part of the perps within my infiltration of my inner circle. They got really close, you know what I mean? And I had a lot of love for these people, man, and when you find out, of course, like most TIs, man, when you realize that the people you had around you weren't really who they said they were in the sense of who they were portraying themselves to be, it hurts you, man. And I admitted that to him. I said, "Yo, this really hurts," And then I asked him why. I asked one of them why. He goes, "Well, maybe." In a roundabout way, he put it. He goes, "Well, maybe certain people approached family members. They came to the home and they said, if you don't do this, then you'll be targeted, or something will happen in your family. The threats to the family and whatnot, which is pretty much common amongst people who they turn against you. You know what I mean? They threaten your life. They scare you. There's intimidation tactics, man." But this person was in one of the military branches of this government. So I figured that he knew about the targeting because he made certain comments during the time that we were there and even after the fact. And I came to the realization. I said, this dude knew what was going on all along, as the other two also did as well. But him, out of all the people, I said, man, you surprised me, man, because out of all three of y'all, you've been the most honest with me. So I asked him, I said, at least tell me the truth at this point. What's going on? You know what I mean? I hear you what you're saying. I understand if they came and threatened your life or stuff like that, because you're saying it in a roundabout way. All right, well, no problem. You know what I mean? But be real with me. Tell me, what happened? What's the deal? What is this all about? I'm not organizing a militia to overthrow the government. I'm not making any threats to the president. I'm not doing, what is that? I'm not a threat to these people. What's going on? Am I a threat? Are they seeing me? Are they viewing me as some type of threat? And his response was, because I said, yo, just let me know what's going on. He grabbed a piece of paper that I had, a yellow piece of like notebook paper, and on it, he wrote the date, which was the last time we were ever to, chill together or see together or, party together and drink and all that other good stuff, which was June 6th, 2015. And here goes the paper. And I still have it to this day, and I'm going to keep it. This is for my own personal documentation and proof. You know what I mean? And here it is. June 6th, 2015, right? Complete and total control. His spelling is not, always 100%, man, but you could pretty much figure what he was trying to write. You know what I mean? He's like probably missing a letter here or misspelling there, but that's his handwriting. Okay, June 6th, 2015, complete and total control. I wrote this because I was writing, as you can see, it's different handwriting in print. This is my handwriting. I was telling him about Hegel, a German philosopher. And I told him about Hegelian dialectics, and I had written down, on this piece of, paper. So I wrote the Hegelian dialectics. He was a philosopher/professor in Ingolstadt, Germany, and he created a formula which was basically thesis plus antithesis equals synthesis, which is basically the New World Order. And thesis being America, which represents capitalism, and then antithesis would be Russia, which would be communism, and then the New World Order would be the synthesis of that. You know what I mean? So it's basically problem plus reaction equals solution. That's basically how Hegelian dialectics works. So then he took the piece of the bottom part of that, and he didn't say anything. He didn't, comment out loud, because he figured that I was being watched and recorded, and everything I was being said and they were saying was being recorded and watched as well. So he discreetly wrote this on this piece of paper. He wrote, "You are not a threat." Now remember, this is after what I asked, and I said, yo, but why the heck is this going on? The whole organized stalking thing. I didn't understand what was happening. I knew there was something weird going on. Obviously they were coming out overt on me after I did the research, but I was trying to figure it out. What the fuck is going on? The people wearing red all over the place, and they're making like this, what do you call it, the directed conversation, the street theater. So he goes, "You are not a threat, right? We are," and then he includes himself in it, because this is he was a dude that I really thought was we had a lot of common, things that we like our perceptions. Okay, we were both natural observers, and we were both into the arts, and we were both into working out and going into the psychology of behavior, human behavior, and watching people and analyze. So we had a lot of common things. For all I know, he could have figured that out through being profiled, and these people all get together and they pretty much do a study on you, on your likes and your dislikes, and then during the time, can you imagine having a noise campaign on the outside in the street, and you're on the inside with the apartment window open, and you're drinking, and you're going through all this stuff, and then they start targeting you individually here and there amongst all that? That's crazy, man. You know what I mean? I went through that, and I knew that was the last time I would see those cats. I made up my mind. I said, I'm amongst the enemies right now. And it was hard, man. It was hard to deal with. But I dealt with it, and here I am now, almost a year later, clean and sober. And I got my mind right. And I'm ready, to get at this, man. I'm ready to keep on exposing it for what it is, to see if I can help other TIs out there and help them and inspire them and motivate them to expose what they have and what they know. Because maybe we can do something about this. Anyway, going back, because pardon me for that, I went on a tangent, but it is what it is. He wrote, "You are not a threat," right? We are looked at as a virus or a fungus that has to be disposed of. You are not the only who thinks this way or sees this. We are considered as people, there it goes again with the we, who believe in conspiracy, also made to look like people who are crazy or chemically imbalanced. People like ourselves, there you go again, including himself. I really thought, that him and I were this, maybe he does think that way, but then it was used on another level, you know what I mean? To go through this whole thing and play the role really well. I don't know. Like ourselves, are willing to share our knowledge and beliefs to others. That is why we become targets to the governments. Now you see that right there. That is why we become targets. All right? You see it for yourself, to the governments. All right? Now, as far as that is concerned, that is my personal belief on what I know firsthand and what he said and what he, copped out to or what have you in that particular comment on this paper that I still have from this day. And I will keep it as a reminder. It helps me to realize and remember that I am not losing it, that I was never crazy, and I knew that already, but it just proves to me. And that I'm not chemically imbalanced, how one of them was saying that I probably had some type of chemical imbalance. But that was probably the whole directed energy weapons being shot at me and giving me these feelings of anger and mood swings and stuff like that. That did happen. And I don't blame certain people to think that I was bugging out, because that would make anyone seem like they're bugging out. But when you realize that this technology has existed since the early 70s, maybe even before that, you know what I mean? Then you realize that, wow, they have the ability to manipulate your emotions, your moods, to make you look like this when you're not, to give you thoughts and feelings of wanting to do certain things that you don't even know why you're doing them. That's mind control technology for you at its best. I've also come to the conclusion and realization that I was placed as a child in one of the MK Ultra Project Monarch trauma-based programs in the experimentation fields as a child. I'm looking more into that to get further, hopefully further proof and see what I could do to expose that. That's it for now. And TIs, keep your head up, stay strong, and stay diligent.